Okay, so today we're taking a deep dive into the world of AI and, trying to answer this question that keeps popping up.
Right.
Is it really a revolution or is this just the latest tech hype?
Yeah.
You sent over a podcast episode that had a pretty provocative title, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah.
Why AI is Tech's Latest Hoax.
Interesting.
It argues that AI might be going down the same path as big data.
I see.
All this promise, tons of investment.
Uh-huh.
But did we really get the tangible value out of it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What were your initial thoughts when you heard this hoax idea?
I mean, it makes you think, right?
Yeah, it definitely got my attention.
It did for me, too.
Because on the surface, AI seems so transformative.
Oh, absolutely.
But then you hear an argument like that, and it makes you take a step back.
For sure.
And I think what really struck me, listening to the episode, is how it connects to past tech bubbles, like the dot-com boom.
Right.
So much hype.
Yeah.
Grand visions of the future.
Huge valuations.
It's exactly when rushing to get a piece of it.
But did we really see that translate into
Long-term value.
long-term value?
Not always.
Right.
And I think we're seeing some parallels with AI.
Yeah, that's what the episode argues.
Lots of excitement.
Predictions of massive disruption.
Tons of funding pouring in.
But where's the clear path to profitability?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Yeah, and they highlight this idea of showmanship over substance.
Okay, I'm listening.
They say that in tech, often the most charismatic leaders, the ones who can tell the most captivating stories, they're the ones who get rewarded.
Even if their business plans don't quite add up.
Yeah, even if the details are fuzzy.
Makes you wonder, have you seen this in the AI field?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
You see these leaders with their compelling narratives about how AI is going to change the world.
And the investors just eat it up.
They eat it up. They throw money at it.
Billion-dollar valuations before they've even proven their concept.
Yeah, it's like the gold rush all over again. Everyone wants in on the action.
Desperate to get a piece of the next big thing.
Without always stopping to think.
Is
there real substance behind this?
Right. Is there a sustainable business model here?
Or are we just chasing a mirage?
And the episode argues that venture capitalists play a role in this.
Oh, definitely.
Because their whole model
is finding that next unicorn.
The company that goes public with an astronomical valuation.
Exactly.
And so they're incentivized to pour money into these radical ideas.
Even if the path to profitability is, let's say, unclear.
Yeah, and that creates this system
where unprofitable AI startups can keep going.
Just hopping from one funding round to the next.
Always aiming for that IPO payday.
But without a solid foundation.
It's like building a skyscraper on sand.
Visually impressive?
Right.
Maybe.
Inherently unstable.
And this is where the comparison to big data really comes in.
The episode makes a strong connection there.
And it's hard to ignore. Right?
Remember all the excitement around big data a few years back?
Everyone was talking about it.
Companies were investing heavily in big data solutions.
Data was the new oil, they said.
But the thing is, a lot of those companies
didn't have a clear strategy.
Didn't know how to turn all that data
into actual business value.
Into results, into profits.
And what did that lead to?
Disappointment, I think.
Disillusionment.
This feeling of, innovation fatigue.
People started getting skeptical.
Wondering if all this tech hype was really about solving problems.
Or just creating new markets for tech companies to exploit.
And now, are we seeing that same skepticism directed at AI?
It's a valid question.
Based on what we've seen before.
Exactly. Because if the big data boom didn't quite live up to the hype,
maybe we should approach AI with a little more caution.
A little more critical thinking.
Yeah, and I think that leads to another crucial point from the podcast.
Okay, what's that?
This potential pitfall of becoming overly reliant on data and algorithms.
Interesting. Tell me more about that.
Because they argue that true innovation, it doesn't come from blindly following algorithms.
Okay.
It's about using data to enhance our own creativity.
To sharpen our critical thinking.
Exactly. To augment human intelligence.
Not replace it entirely.
Right, because imagine if we let algorithms make all our decisions for us.
Well, I mean...
Think about investment decisions, for example.
Yeah, that's a good example.
An algorithm might look at the numbers and say, sell, sell, sell.
Right.
But a seasoned human investor...
They might see something else.
They might pick up on subtle market shifts.
They might have that gut feeling.
Exactly, that intuition.
That the algorithm misses.
Because human judgment, experience, it still matters.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Absolutely. Using AI as a tool.
But not letting it become the master.
AI should help us think better.
not think for us.
Precisely.
And this brings up a question that I think is really important to consider.
Okay, curious.
Who really benefits from AI advancements?
That's a big one.
The podcast takes a somewhat cynical view.
Huh?
They argue that historically, it's the founders, the VCs.
The ones at the top.
Exactly. They reap the biggest rewards.
While everyone else is left to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, the fallout of broken promises.
That's a valid concern.
Because if we're not careful, AI could exacerbate existing inequalities.
It could concentrate wealth and power in the hands of a select few.
So we need to be asking those tough questions.
Who's shaping the development of AI?
What are their motivations?
Are they prioritizing societal benefit?
Or are they primarily driven by profit?
And how can we ensure that AI's potential benefits are shared widely?
That it's used to uplift everyone, not just the select few.
That's the real challenge.
So after this deep dive, where do we stand?
Well, I still believe AI has incredible potential, but I think it's crucial to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
To learn from the mistakes of the past.
To remember the hype cycles we've seen before.
To ask those hard questions about who benefits.
And to ensure that ethical considerations are at the forefront.
Because if AI is truly going to benefit humanity,
it needs to be developed with a focus on solving real-world problems.
Not just generating headlines or profits.
And here's a final thought to leave you with.
Okay, I'm listening.
If AI is going to be a force for good,
yeah,
we need to ensure its development is guided by a genuine desire to make the world a better place.
To create a more equitable and sustainable future.
A future where everyone benefits from the advancements we make.
That's a powerful vision.
'Cause I think it's a vision worth striving for.
I couldn't agree more. That's a great point to end on.
Yeah.
This has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
It's given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
And I hope it's done the same for our listeners.
I hope so too.
Thanks for joining me on this journey.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.
Keep exploring the world of AI.
And keep asking those critical questions.
Because the future of AI is in our hands.
It's up to us to shape it responsibly.
And to ensure it benefits all of humanity.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it for today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye. Goodbye.